This week, the Atlanta Hawks eliminated the New York Knicks from the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Knicks were coming off of their best season in almost, I think it was like, what, 5, 6 years now? Like, for the past 5 years, 6 years, the Knicks have been a laughingstock, the laughingstock of the NBA. Every NBA fan out there that's not in New York was pointing at the Knicks and laughing at them because they were a dumpster fire of an organization, just cycling coaches in and out, just not being able to, put up a product that people wanted to see. There were games where the Garden wasn't full, and that's a big fucking deal for the Garden not to be full all the time. And then we come to this season, and especially off last year where they signed Julius Randle, and people were just like, oh man, just bringing in all these power forwards, not even centers, just bringing in multiple power forwards, and hoping that it would make an NBA team, and all this stuff with their owner, who is, in my opinion, the worst owner right now in basketball. He can't help but butt into everything, and those are the worst types of owners, especially when they don't know what they're doing and they have a track record that proves they don't know what they're doing. That's stolen. So that's all besides the point. This year, the Knicks made the playoffs as a 4 seed in a year that everybody thought, including myself, thought they were going to be terrible. I thought this team was going to be the shits, picking right down with my Cavs, right in the first few picks of the draft. I thought that's where this team was going to be because they didn't really do much. They drafted Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin wasn't even a big factor in this year. I think the biggest factors in this year, ironically, were Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson. Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson, I think, really, they shined in the most weirdly impactful way this year for the New York Knicks, and I think that's really what helped put them over the top. It didn't hurt that Julius Randle, after everybody was saying how terrible of a pickup he was a few years ago, it didn't hurt that Julius Randle basically won Most Improved Player of the Year, puts up 20 and 10 season. RJ Barrett took a step forward. None of that hurts. And on top of that, you got the leadership that Derrick Rose gives. You have the experience, the points that Derrick Rose gives off the bench. I think Derrick Rose is at least right up there, might even be first place in sixth man of the year. Derrick Rose was to me that X factor that really launched them into this big run that they went on in the season, and being the 4th seed. I think Derrick Rose was the big X factor in this. And Taj Gibson, who knew? Who fucking knew, right? So big ups to him. But this team, man, I have to give them props to where it is. I did not expect them to even sniff the playoffs, even the play-in tournament. Did not expect them to sniff. They were at the 4th seed. I was proven wrong. But that being said, they have now been eliminated from the playoffs. And the question is, was this season a success? Of course it was. It was 100% a success. Anyone who says it wasn't is just lying to themselves. This was not a failure in any means. I know there are a few Knicks fans who might think that, oh man, we could have gone to the second round. You could have, but you wouldn't have gotten past the Nets, being honest. But that being said, what should they do from here is, I think, the question that's on the minds of all Knicks fans and all fans who are paying attention to what's going on. What they should do from here, I think, is build off of what they have. Yeah. I think that's a consensus, right? Build off of what you have. But you need to be ready in the next 2 years to add another star. And I'm not talking about, a complimentary piece. I'm talking about a fucking, number one. You need that X factor, that whether it's Kawhi potentially, which I don't know because, he's gotten out, I think, after next year. But that being said, that's going to be a thing. There's a few players the KD Kyrie situation might change. Who knows what's going on there? But there's a lot of players who are up. But you need someone who's going to come in there and be the primary ball handler, who's going to be consistently scoring. Because right now they don't have that person. Julius Randle can put up 20 and 10. Apparently not in the playoffs, but he can do that for you. but he's not like going to be the person you go to when you're down by like, 5 with 2 minutes to go. You need someone who's going to come in and score. You need someone who's going to control the ball and put up points and take it upon themselves to be the guy. RJ Barrett, I think, has the ability to be a great player. I don't think he's going to be a number one. And that's just what I've seen. He's shown ability. He's shown the ability to score in spurts. Just have not seen the consistency. I have not seen not I don't want to say ability, because I've seen the ability to do it. It's just I don't think he's going to develop into being that person. I think he's going to be a solid number 2. I think Julius Randle can be a solid number 2 or an elite number 3. But they need a number 1 if they want to do anything. Like, unless they're fine with being a second round revolving door over the next few years, if Knicks fans are fine with that, that's whatever. But they're not going to win a championship with this core unless they add someone. They're just not going to win a championship. That is truth. That is gospel. Take it to the bank. And if they do, we'll eat my hat. But it's not going to happen because of the way the NBA is structured these days. It's very, very rare that, a team without multiple superstars wins. The Raptors, you could say, might have been an exception, but even the Raptors, like, all that talent, like, that was some great talent, some great young talent with Van Vliet, Siakam, with Lowry, who you could argue in that year was their number 2. Kyle Lowry had a great postseason. It was Kawhi's team, Kawhi was number 1, but that was Kyle Lowry's team, and he really decided, where the ball went in a lot of times. So you could say they might be the exception. Before that, it's Dirk. Before that, it's Dirk Nowitzki's team in Dallas that won in 2011. So it doesn't happen often, and odds are it's not going to happen for a long time. And I don't see the Knicks being that team to do it. They need to find a way to get someone else on this team. And, I know there's rumors about potentially Chris Paul after this year coming over. Yeah, maybe. Or he might choose to stay in Phoenix because the Suns look like they're about to beat the Lakers. So there's a few ways you could go. I just think if you're serious about winning, if you're serious about winning a championship, which every fan should be, you gotta go out there and you gotta get a number 1. That's imperative. That is crucial, because otherwise you're just gonna be a revolving door every year in the second round, and that's fine. If you're fine with that, that's okay. But it's not going to make, I don't think it's going to make the fans any more satisfied. It's just going to make, I think, people it's going to be bitter. It's going to make you bitter. I would understand that. Trust me. Like, I would be mad too, right? But that's what I think. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.